Okay, I made it. I'm here. Earlier than usual. Hopefully. Maybe not. Maybe it's the usual time. I don't know. I have no idea. Alright, there we go. Hello, hello, hello. Made it. Welcome, welcome. I think I did pretty good this time. I think I did pretty good on time. I'm not on time, but closer than usual. Yay! You made it, honey. I'm glad you made it. I was trying so hard to get here, but I did it. I did it. I'm glad you're here. Hey, that's a good number though. That's a great number. 1122 is a great number. We got some momentum behind us. Hi, Tarot Goddess. Thank you for being here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Noah. Thanks for being here. 2 days in a row. That's great. It's good to see you. Okay, Annie. So, why don't you start typing up what you wanted to talk about today, and we'll start with that um, while people are either getting or not getting notifications that I'm live, and then we'll switch over to the hip hop stuff. But I'm sure your stuff probably relates to all of the hip hop stuff too, because it usually does. Yes. Okay. I want to hear about your dream because it's interesting how we get those dreams in our messages, like our messages in our dreams, is what I meant to say. So yeah, tell us about your dream. And while you're doing that, and people are coming in, I will just put here. I kind of love that though, Annie. I love that your dreams are very apocalyptic. I kind of love that because the universe and like our angels and our ancestors, they always speak to us the way that we're going to be able to get it. And it's usually how we talk. So how we talk and interact with people, that's how they interact with us too. Oh, never that, Eddie. I can't make fun of anybody. I have too many comebacks. There's be too many comebacks for me, so I can't judge or make fun of anybody. Um okay, so while you're typing that up, this is what's kind of coming through to talk about. Oh, I don't see our number wheel up. I'll have to find that in a bit. Um, but what basically happens with these vibrations is like we have the vibrations here, and it's like these pure vibrations. So like if we think about this as like this is the god level or the universe level of vibrations, this is like pure, and pure vibrations um, are neutral, so they contain everything that we would consider positive and everything that we would consider negative, all in one. And then um, we interact with them, and then it's based off of like our perspective. And actually, so we interact with them, and the first thing we try and do is we try and translate them. So we try and have some kind of translation of what it is we're experiencing with these vibrations. And so that's where we get like math or numbers. We get like the symbols that are used. This is also where we get language from. Is us trying to translate those vibrations in some way. And so this is the first place where we start getting some like separation between like positive and negative, or what we would consider positive and negative. Oh, okay. Well, right, you can write it in pieces. You could write it in chunks, and we could take it a little bit at a time. Okay, yeah. No, that's perfect. That's fine. That's fine, Annie. Um, and so then through these different translations is when we get the vibration to us as individuals. But this is all based on our own perspective. And so then that's why for different people, the same vibration can feel positive or it can feel negative. But our goal is to be able to figure out how to get to a place where when we get these translations from, regardless of the source, when we get these vibrations, that we're able to be at a neutral place. So like at zero. It's like we understand the positive and the negative in all areas and perspectives, and we're just including it together. So when we see numbers, and when we see like have dreams, or when we have like a song that the lyrics are resonating very strong for us, that's all at this translation place. So it's here that we like see our numbers. This is where dreams are. This is where like any of the song lyrics, that's where these come in. And then we start translating them through the numbers and the symbols and the language that we have. Wow, what the hell did I spell over here? That's not how you spell language. Nobody even told me. It looked all freaking crazy. What is languation? I might have made up a word, but whatever. But that's where this comes in. So because all of these vibrations are neutral and pure. So, all right, so here we go. We're getting this dream. So let me go here. Okay, so this is Andy's dream. Okay, so everybody else, Noah, Tarot Goddess, anybody else that would like to participate? As we are looking at Annie's dreams, as she's sending it like a sentence at a time for us, let me know what words are standing out for you, or what images are standing out for you, because that's how you begin to translate the messages that are coming in your dreams, and the vibrations of those messages. So similar to like when I tell you, if you're seeing numbers over and over again, to start documenting like what you're thinking, feeling, who you're talking to, those types of things when you see the numbers, so that we can actually draw out more of the message. Same thing with your dreams. So it's important to get as much of the imagery from your dreams as possible. But if certain things stand out, then those are the words, the phrases, the numbers that you really want to pay close attention to. Okay, so here we go. We were chilling at the beach, and suddenly a giant comes out of the water with his ship and threatens to kill us. Okay, so there's a few things just in that first sentence. So just like with, you know how they always say, like a picture, it tells you more than like 1,000 words or whatever. I always say that wrong, but um, that's what's happening. It's even more so with your dreams because the imagery is like embedded in there so much. So we're at the beach. So the first thing that I'm seeing is like the ocean water. It's like the big body of water. And we have a giant that comes from the water. So any kind of big water is representative of the subconscious. It's the subconscious space. So water is always your emotional space. Hey, Tiptoe Joe, welcome. Thanks for being here. Sorry, my bad. So whenever we have any kind of dream imagery, and this would go, like, I'll keep tying it back also to hip hop since this is our hip hop day. So you can use a lot of water imagery to talk about what's coming out of the subconscious space. And we do have a lot of hip hop artists that use this kind of imagery. So your subconscious space is where like your deepest, darkest secrets and emotions are. So first thing I'm thinking of is like we have this ocean space where this is like your subconscious mind. It's like your deepest emotions and your deepest like secrets are what lie in this space. And coming out of this space in this dream is this giant. So there's something big that's coming out of this subconscious space. Usually when it's coming out of the subconscious space, it's being brought to light. So it's something that is really needing to not just be in the subconscious space of like only in the dream state, but because it's coming out of there, it needs to move from the consciousness into or from the subconscious into the conscious mind. So this is why you remember your dreams. These are the things that you remember, are the things that need to come out of the dream state and then come into your mind. So you need to be thinking about them. You need to be breaking them down and getting the message. This, the word giant. So first we know it's something big that's coming out of the subconscious space. It's coming out and it's coming into the light. And then this word giant of like how we describe it. So just like how I was talking up here, where we're taking this pure vibration that we're getting and we're trying to translate it in some way. And so we're using language to be able to do that. And so the description of giant at 51, this 51 vibration is what can give us some more clues about what this giant is. And so having giant be 51, what it's telling us is that whatever this big thing is coming out of the subconscious space, it's really hinged on new energy coming in. So it's and because vibration is neutral, just because it's new doesn't mean that it necessarily feels like a good thing. You know, like if you have big new things that are happening in your life, they can give you anxiety. They can make you feel worried about them. So this giant is drawing in this new energy, and this new energy is changing things, which also can bring some anxiety. Hey, Josh. Okay, cool. Well, welcome. So, everybody that has just come in, we're looking at Annie's dream. And in the chat, she has put a couple of sentences. It looks like 3 sentences to describe what she was seeing in her dream. So, if you want to go back in the chat and read those and let me know what imagery is popping up for you, we can actually get some more messages from that. And I'm just breaking down what I'm seeing as I look at it. So we have, and we're just on the first sentence, so you haven't missed much. And to relate it back to hip hop and any kind of artistry or creativity, this is how you can use imagery, and this is how a lot of artists use imagery, like in a dreamlike way, to be able to give us more information or to give us more vibrations that we can connect with in the music. Okay, so we have this ocean, which is the subconscious space. It's the space that we usually only interact with when we're in a dream state. It's the part that we hide away, we tuck away. But it actually knows everything. It only operates in like absolute truths. And so out of this subconscious comes this giant. And this giant is bringing new energy and change, which can bring on the anxiety of feeling like, oh, he's going to kill us. So that's where that feeling of dread, feeling threatened, feeling worried. I hope YouTube doesn't cut me off for using all these words. But that's why it feels that way. It's because this giant imagery is giving us this new energy that is really creating some change. And in this change, it's challenging our comfort. So that's why and what challenges our comfort more than pending death or pending harm. And so it's challenging what makes us feel comfortable or what is comfortable. And so that is really important to know. Okay, so then the next sentence is he goes to catch some shrimp. Well, let me read the first one first again, so make sure everybody's gotten it. So the first sentence that we just went over is we were chilling at the beach and suddenly a giant comes out of the water with his ship and threatens to kill us. The second sentence is now he goes to catch some shrimp and to get in his good graces volunteer to peel the shrimp for him. That's so interesting. So he catches shrimp. So we know that he likes it. And again, this is coming back to where I was talking about how pure vibration gets split up into like positive and negative imagery at this point of translation. So it's when we're trying to describe this vibration and how it makes us feel or what we are seeing based on this vibration. This is where we start trying to translate it. This is where we start getting symbols and numbers and math and the language. And so it's not weird. It's really us and our brains that are trying to find a good way of describing what it is that we are experiencing with these vibrations and what is the energy that's coming up and out. And we actually see this with like with the earth. So I know we've all experienced those times where it's like um, you're like, where did that storm come from? Or it's like, it was supposed to be raining all day and now it's sunny today. Or it was supposed to be sunny today and now it's snowing. Those are the that energy, that release of vibrations that comes out in ways that are unexpected. That's what we see when Earth is releasing and interacting with those vibrations. And dreams is one of the ways that we interact with that. And I'm sure we can go back into hip hop and really any genre of music and find where they are um, giving us messages in a dreamlike state or in a way that is very dreamlike. Like even just the um, sing song patterning of the lyrics puts you in a dreamlike state. It makes you accept those images in different ways. So it's not weird. It makes sense. It's how our brains work. So let's look at shrimp because there's a significance there. So where it's first, it's something that is being eaten. Where whatever is coming out of this subconscious, it's wanting to feed. And we are recognizing, hey, we'd rather you eat this shrimp instead of eating us. Because we don't know what's going on here. So there's a lot of uncertainty in this new energy that's bringing change. But shrimp, when we add up these letters, it's 83. And this is telling us a couple of different things. First of all, 83 is one of those numbers that adds up to that 11 too. So it's like there's a combination here of the what we would consider positive and what we would consider negative. And we need to work with it in that way. And we want to be part of this vibration of the shrimp instead of the anxiety that we're feeling that this giant is going to take us out. And so the other thing is 83 is the numerical vibration of the word wisdom. And when you this is interesting that this is coming up, but I don't know why it's coming up. But there's actually folklore about you should be eating shellfish, in particular shrimp, whenever you want to produce something wise. So if you're pregnant, when you want a smart or a wise child, you're supposed to eat shellfish. Or if you're and it's crazy because doctors tell you not to, but it's also based on your craving. So if you're craving it, you're craving that smartness and that wisdom is put into that child. But also if you are trying to put a project together and birth the project, then what you're eating or what energy you're feeding into that project is you're trying to put it in there so it's producing that. So there's something around the wisdom here. And that's very interesting. So we are trying to, in peeling the shrimp for him, he can't take in this wisdom. He can't digest this wisdom without having it cleaned first. And we are offering to take that first layer off and clean it for him to be able to consume this wisdom. Because that's the same for us also, that if we want to be able to consume this with him, then and get in his good graces, then we have to have that cleaned off also. So that's very interesting. And so then if we were to take giant and shrimp. So giant at 51 plus shrimp at 83. Then we get 134, which is an 8. But this is, so the two of these together, we want him to consume this wisdom. We want him to be able to take in this wisdom, and we want to be able to offer it to him and help him take in this wisdom so that we can establish a new foundation of like friendship. And so then that helps in whatever this change is, because 13 is the biggest change you can make, which is a transformation. And it will stick, it'll stay in place because it's the 8 where it's a repeat. Okay, Tiptoe Joe. We know you brilliant. I don't know what happened with me though, cause my mama don't eat no kind of shrimp, especially not any kind of shellfish. She don't eat fish at all, I don't think. So I don't know. What does that mean? Maybe I am from outer space for real, for real. Could be. This is really interesting. What questions do you all have coming up? Because I want to make sure I'm telling you all this in a way that you can use it to break down your own dreams, but also some of the lyrics that you're hearing. Because we go off of the lyrics just based off of the words usually, but also to be able to understand how a song is like impacting you more, we get into the imagery. So it's not just what's being said, but it's the images that are being provoked, because those have the added vibrations there. Okay, so here's the last part of this dream. So then in all houses, everybody and everything staying on the left side of the house is vanishing. Okay. So we have like this giant, this very new amount of information and energy that are coming in to make some changes and shake up our comfort. So that makes sense, actually, that the house would be disappearing, because that's where we would be considered to have the most comfort. That's where we would think that we would have the most comfort, where we'd be the most safe. So here's our little house, and we have it where I don't know. Is this the left side? All right, we're just gonna say this is left. But this is the part that's disappearing. So there's a couple of things that are here. This is actually very interesting. So as this new energy is coming in and provoking change, it's changing up the comfort that we are feeling and experiencing. But with wisdom, it can temper that. It's like making the giant be less mean and a little more nice. It's things are still disappearing, but having them disappear from the left side is very interesting, in that when we look at the sides like of our body and of really anything, so if we have like here, yes, this square is our body. And so the right side, so if this is the right side, so we'll do right and left. So the right side is usually what we would consider the masculine side. It's the side that takes action. It's the side that is the protective force. It's the side that is very outwardly moving. And then the left side is the feminine aspect. And what it's feeling like is we're freaking out, right? Because we have this giant that's telling them that he's gonna jack us up, he's gonna kill us, and it's disrupting our comfort. It's disrupting the comfort that we have on this feminine side. Feminine is very much the attracting in. So where masculine energy is what you use to be able to go and actually take action to get something, to do something, the feminine is what you use to attract in, to pull in. And so the comfort that's getting disrupted is on this feminine side. We're seeing it as disappearing because that's what makes us feel the most uncomfortable. But it's when you're most uncomfortable is when you grow. So not being comfortable is actually a good thing. That's when you can fully change. And so this left side, this feminine side, this what we as a group and humanity see as feminine, how we define it is what's changing. And this is very much a message. This is probably why you remember this dream, Annie, and why you're bringing it in here. Because it is very much what's happening right now. Where what we consider to be feminine, and if it's okay, if we see it as a good or a positive thing or a negative thing, those definitions are kind of changing, and they need to change so we can step into this new world, this new place of comfort. And this is what we're seeing in hip hop too, that as we're going through these shifts and these changes, there's a lot of definitions of things that are needing to change. Like, not just the definition of like hip hop itself. So not just the definition of what is hip hop, who belongs in hip hop, who's just a consumer of hip hop and who's a creator of hip hop, but all the way down to the elements. These definitions are needing to change. And most of these definitions are in that feminine aspect. It's the part of because we all have masculine and feminine. Oh, hi, Mai. Thank you for being here. I was a little bit in a zone, so I didn't catch you really quick. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. So this is very interesting, and I think it is very relevant. That because this is what we're kind of seeing in this whole world. And then so Annie, for you, because this was your dream, like we do have these dreams that we need to share and be able to have discussions about, because there's messages in there for many people and for all of us, but you always have to wrap it back around to you yourself. And so for you, Annie, is thinking about what are these definitions of feminine that you are struggling with, and what can possibly be coming in, what new energy and new ways of thinking and new ways of doing things are needing to come in to be able to facilitate these changes in these definitions. No, it makes sense because especially thinking about where so we tend to have a lot of those like world ending kind of dreams and like the battling kind of dreams when we have a lot of changes that are going on. And if you have a lot of five energy in your vibrations, in your natural vibrations, but also around you, then you're always going to have that change energy coming up. And so if all of your dreams are kind of like that, then it's just your subconscious speaking to you in a way that you're going to understand because you have all those five vibrations. It's using all that five vibration to tell you what's going on. Oh yeah, I forgot. You do. You have the 55. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, Josh, exactly. Exactly. This is exactly what's happening all over the place. We see it all over. Hey, Slay Queen. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you could make it. We were just finishing up talking about a dream. Thank you for sharing this, Annie. I think this is like a big message for all of us and even in hip hop because we keep talking about this shift that is happening, but we don't talk about the details of what that shift is. And a lot of the times we first have a shift or we first have a split. So there's a split first, and then it's a reconciling of both sides, and then finding a new place in the middle. So it's looking at what are these extremes, and I think that is what we are definitely seeing in hip hop and in the bigger world space is that these extremes are being presented to us, and we're having to understand the two extremes and find a middle ground so that we know what we're shifting into and what's new. That's great, Annie. Yeah. Yeah. Always, yeah. For everybody, bring your numbers, bring your dreams, bring your lyrics, whatever like songs that are getting stuck in your head cuz all of it is vibration. And so we can have these discussions here about what those vibrations are actually telling us. What are the deeper messages? What are the deeper lessons? How can we use that energy? And that's what's big for me is I really want to help us all because I'm still working on it too. But I want to help us all be able to learn how to actually use those vibrations and energy to get us to where we actually want to be and to have the lives that we want to live. This is great. Yep. I remember you saying that. Yep. So that one energy, and especially this month. Okay. So that's like a good transition. So everybody can definitely in the chat put any of your hip hop questions, um, hip hop vibrations, lyrics, whatever you want to kind of explore today. And while you're doing that, I'll talk a little bit about October for hip hop specifically. Oh yeah, Annie, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, we'll put that on our list to talk about. Um, I haven't looked at this calendar for hip hop yet. Um, so we are looking at this together. So the first thing that's interesting, so October for everybody is very much heavy in that one energy. And the one energy is it can be very helpful for us, because we can use it to create anything and everything, but also it can be very overwhelming. Oh, yes. Thank you, Josh. Okay, so we got two things. Perfect. But anybody else, certainly put more in there. Numbers, lyrics, anything. We'll focus on hip hop today, though. So we have that going on. But what's interesting for hip hop, the first thing that I'm seeing for hip hop is that it's operating in an 11, which can be good or bad or both, all at the same time. Everything all over the place, everywhere at the same time, that kind of thing. Okay, good. Yes, put all of that in there. You probably gonna have to remind me or type it again, so like copy it and hold it so that you can paste it again. But well, yeah, those are good things. Those are great things. Yes. Okay, thank you, Tiptoe Joe. Yes, we'll put that on the list also. And actually, let me not act like I don't have this weird ass memory where I can remember everything that I ate like 15 years ago, but I can't remember 2 minutes ago. All right, so what do we have? We have, oh yeah, the life path numbers. So we have the life path numbers of Kendrick Lamar and Hanuman Kind. We'll talk about that. Josh had, oh, that was Troy, wasn't it? The song Troy, Josh. That was and the word reminisce. Mm-hmm. And the date was October 8th, I believe. Okay, perfect. We'll get that on the list. And oh, Noah, that's so exciting. Like if you find out from them like what is the approximate due date, like when that baby would be born, it's fun to actually look at birth charts like ahead of time to kind of see who you're gonna get. That's exciting. Okay, and then oh yeah, that old school conscious rap. Do you want to look specifically at KRS-One? Tiptoe Joe? Certain lyrics? Or just in general? You let me know. But I'm putting it on the list so I don't forget. Okay, what else? Oh, thank you for pointing that out. Okay, yeah, so we need to write down Annie's words of residue and residual. What? What? How did that happen? What did my brain do right there? But yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Tarot Gothis. That we so now we have three words here that have the RE in it, and we are in retrograde season. So we can talk about how retrograde season can be impacting hip hop right now too, and like what's coming up for us. Okay, okay. When we get there, Tiptoe Joe, we'll talk about it more. Um, oh, thank you so much, Annie. That really means a lot to me. It really means a lot because I have said several times that I didn't know what I was going to be doing on on YouTube. I didn't know where I was coming or any of that, but really wanted to, knew I needed to be here. So, uh, that means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, now that I'm choked up and trying not to cry. Whew, okay, what did you say, Josh? Okay. Okay, let's add to that. So, um KRS-One, let's add, yeah, love's gonna get you. And my philosophy, yeah. Oh yeah, and the 10th. Okay. Well, and we could talk about the 10th a little bit right now because we'll look at the calendar real quick. Um, oh, thank you, Slay Queen. This is, I have been overwhelmed by this whole experience, but it's been so much fun. I love coming and having these conversations with you. Bridge is over. Hmm. Okay. Yep. And then what was? Oh yeah. Then we'll talk about the 10th. We'll talk about the 10th right now. Okay. Don't let me forget that my list is over here. I did write this list. don't, don't let me forget. Because I'll be like, I don't remember what we were going to talk about. uh, oh, no apologies. No apologies needed at all. Nope, you do whatever you gotta do. We're just glad to have you here as part of the conversation. Oh my gosh. Do you see what's happening here, Annie? All right, we'll get to it. All right, so for October, for everybody, and we talked about this in live yesterday a little bit. What am I saying a little bit? We talked about a lot of it for like 2 hours a bit. That October really is about this new energy coming in and us really trying to harness it. So for hip hop, we're now hip hop. It when we look at its own vibrational state for this month, it's operating at a 38. Now 38 is the numerical vibration of the word change and also balance. I'm gonna move this down a little bit so I can write up here. And so I wanted to point that out because this 11 for hip hop, it's it's gonna feel very it could feel very like back and forth, like very much a big split, because now what's happening is we have all of this new energy that's coming in just for October in general. And in hip hop, that new energy is getting split. Like we've already begun to see these divides where we've seen like energy going into these different spaces, and not just even in like the beef decide like divides that we've been seeing, like who's on this side and who's on that side, but even in how energy is being used and like the direction of the creative spaces of hip hop um, seem to be getting split. Like I think about just even all of the discussions around AI and the use of AI, and then some of these other places, like in the legal pieces of what's happening to music and hip hop in particular around any legal entities. Those are like splits. It's like where are these energies going to? We have some of this energy that's really going into creating and continuing to build the repertoire of, ooh, I like that word, repertoire. I don't know where that came from, but it's a nice one. It felt good in my mouth. Of hip hop. But then we also have all of this energy that's going into kind of this legal space. 11 really is also connected to the 11th card in the tarot, which is justice. So I think that's why this legal stuff is coming up also. But also, we're in Libra season, which is also linked to fairness and justice. So as we're going into October, these splits between what is right and what is wrong, what is fair and what is not, what is justice and what is not, and even just in the legal system, period, or what's legal and what's illegal, is very much going to be coming into the hip hop space in this month. Like a lot of that. Yeah. And so then trying to see if I'm picking up anything in these individual numbers. So you see here the bigger numbers I have on here. These are the numbers for hip hop specifically. So, like we talked about yesterday, if you do the calculation for yourself, then you can get what your vibration, what your individual vibration is for every single day. So, we're going to have for hip hop, it's 9 cycles are going to start like a day before. Hey, Tiff Tiff! Thanks for being here. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about 4 years. That's freaking ridiculous. I will say though that it's very telling that they talk about the 4 years, but what they specifically talk about is I said I didn't want to talk about it, and then I started talking about it. Yeah, typically that's how I am. But they say it as 50 months. So talking about it in terms of months is 50 months. And there's that 5 again of like change. Like it's telling us again, and this God energy is enhancing that. It's saying, look, something's got to change. Something's got to change. So it's highlighting what are the changes? What are the changes that need to happen? And that goes along with what we're seeing here, right here, in this month. So it's not a coincidence that we got this 50-month ridiculous sentence in October. Because that's what's resonating for hip hop right now. That it's that change energy. But now it's creating a split. And that split already was there. But it's making this split even bigger and creating these discussions of having to discuss, is this justice or is it not? And what would have to change for it to actually be justice? I think it's terrifying because It's allowing for things to perpetuate. So all of the things that have caused so many people pain and scars and wounds, and this is one of the wounds, probably multiple wounds of hip hop. And remember, Chiron, hip hop is going through that Chiron return. So we're still in that time where hip hop is having to face its wounds and figure out how to make changes so that they can heal. So it's all synchronistic. It's all coming together. We just have to make sure that we are seeing all of the pieces of the message so that we can actually put our energy towards what we need to. Because especially in this month, in that hip hop space, that energy could very much be split. Oh, absolutely, Annie. Absolutely. But that's the conversation. So the conversations need to, so in this month in the hip hop space, it's going to be very important, because it's already really important to be very intentional about how we're using this one energy. Oh my gosh, I have to plug in this phone. Hold on. We have to be very intentional about how we're using this one energy, because it can just wreak havoc, because it is coming in as brand new energy. So we have to be very intentional. So in these spaces, hey, Cousin B, thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. So in October for hip hop, we are going to see and continue to see, because it's not like it's just happening. We've been seeing it, where there's these divides and these splits. And it's going to feel very much tied to what's right, to justice, what is fair. But we need to be directing the discussions and the conversations around changes and around healing. So instead of arguing just the point, now I'm not saying don't hold your ground at what you believe and what the side is and what you're seeing, because your perspective needs to be included. But at some point, we need to take a step into figuring out how to be able to bring on healing. Yes. Well, of course you would, Annie, because you're a Libra. So what we're going to see is those people that are Libras, that are born in this early October place. I guess it's late September to early October are the Libras. They're going to be very up in arms. Oh, you're Aquarius, but you have Libra in your chart, don't you? I need to look at that, because I have a Libra moon. So my emotional state is very much tied to that Libra of what's right and wrong and the justice being served. So everybody can look. You should look and see where in your chart you're going to be impacted with this Libra. And we could actually look at that for hip hop too. Let me see, because I think I actually have that. I have hip hop's chart. Let me see if I can get it. So we can look at where this is. That's actually a really good point. So let me. What? Look at me technologying. Look at me technologying. So we'll use hip hop as an example here. Look at me! Hey, look everybody. I'm good at technology today. Just today, though. I can't guarantee anything tomorrow. So, what everybody can look at in their chart is, and this is all year long, you can look and see what zodiac season it is, and then how much of that energy you have in your chart. And it's going to be enhanced even more. Thanks, Slate Queen. I appreciate that. um, it's going to be enhanced even more if it's in your calendar. So we see for hip hop that we have all month, it's in this 11, which is associated with Libra. And we're in Libra season. So that means that these energies are going to be enhanced. And it's not just those that are in Libra, but it's also on the other side. So this is actually very interesting. I'm glad I was able to pull this up so we could see. So in this Libra space for hip hop, we have Pluto here. This is Pluto, which is the planet of transformation. And it represents the type of energy that you bring into the world to help transform it. And it's based off of, hi, Eva. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. I get so excited. It's hard for me to stay out of chat because I love talking to y'all. But okay, I'm gonna talk over here now. So you can look and see where your Pluto is. So really, it's Generation X. So in Libra season, this is when some of the Gen Xers wake up. Because most Gen Xers, like myself, have Pluto in Libra. And so that means that as a generation, I'm so glad that you came and you found us, Eva. I'm so excited that Koala did that shout out and got you all here. Because most everybody, including myself, we came together through Koala as well. So it's amazing. Oh, okay. Warms my heart. So exciting. Okay, back to what I was saying. So wherever your Pluto is, it's the whole it's the entire generation is what is coming into the space. It's like what vibration, what energy is that whole generation bringing in to try and change the world, really. It's like, what is that contribution? And so come on Tiptoe Joe, you should have known that already. So it's really what's happening is hip hop is very much about bringing in justice, bringing in this sense of balance, and not getting caught up. And that's the hard part, is not getting caught up in this push and pull. When you have Pluto in Libra, which again is going to be most of the Gen Xers, you have a tendency to form relationships that are at one extreme or another. Because your energy, your transformative energy, is about finding the balance between the two. So this is very interesting. So we will have an enhancement of hip hop's Pluto in this month. So the transformation that can come through. So that is where we can direct some of those conversations and direct intentionally some of that energy. So instead of going back and forth and having the divide be created, we can focus on, all right, what is the change? Because transformation is the biggest change that we can make. And that's what's still coming up. It's a lot of this messaging around change. And that's also interesting in that the other planet we have here is Uranus. You could say Uranus if you like a little giggle. But this is the planet of revolution, but also unexpected changes. So, in hip hop this month, we should expect to see some unexpected changes, or that hip hop is invoking some unexpected changes in the outside world around it, because this Uranus is going to be lit up. And this is all so synchronistic, because both Uranus and Pluto are in retrograde right now. And so it's all internal. And so as these two are highlighted, we could see a lot of internal transformation and internal unexpected changes for hip hop. You all are so great. I'm just like watching the chat, like, oh. So this is very interesting. Yes. Yes, Tiptoe Joe. That's what happens when you rush and you don't find the right vibrational day to do things. Hey, we'll all get there. We all have our days. So this is very interesting. So you all can look in like your own chart. You all are air signs. And air is very much the mind. That's why you're all like magnificent thinkers and very witty. Like you all can come up with stuff really quickly. I can't. I'm slow because I'm not slow like that, but slow in my comebacks because I'm the Capricorn. I'm that earth sign. So this is really where it's going to be highlighted. So you can look in your own charts and see where is this Libra season kind of hitting you. But it's interesting to think about. Now let's look at here. And we can dig in deeper to see where potentially in the month we could see these changes. Because wherever we have an 11 day for hip hop, and that's very interesting too. All right, I'm saying stuff in my head and saying stuff out loud at the same time, so I'm sorry, it does not make sense. But if we look here, like on the 9th, here's an example. So here on the 9th, October in general is resonating at a 28, which is a 10 and then a 1 energy. So we have a lot of extra 1 energy coming in on this 9th. But for hip hop, we have 47, which is another 11. So we're going to have these days where It's a lot of extra. And so these would be the days that we would expect within hip hop to see some of these unexpected changes or some information coming out around changes or like justice um, for that Libra season. So we have the 9th, we have the 18th over here on a Saturday. Um, where else? We have on this another Saturday that no, on this Monday the 27th is another 11. And what's also interesting is we talked about this um, yesterday because the ninth is the start of the 9 cycle. So hip hop has an opportunity that if you can direct, if hip hop and in those hip hop spaces, so when you're focused on like creating for hip hop or like doing something in the hip hop spaces, whether it's discussions or just being in that space, these days that are in pink are going to be really big days for directing energy into those spaces. Very interesting. I'm looking to see what else I see. And the other thing that's interesting is like I didn't think about it till just now, but like Josh, you asked about October 8th, and then Annie asked about October 10th, and they're both coming up right around this 9th. So these are the vibrations that are really resonating right now. So it looks like for hip hop, it's these three-day blocks. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. We got to be very intentional. Hip hop should be intentional in its spaces, and then the other two are like from weekend, like either in the weekend or out. Okay, so I think really next week is the big one, big huge one. Oh, Tiff, you and Josh, man, crack me up. So very interesting. Anybody have any other questions about hip hop, just in general on the in October? Really? Okay, October 7th. All right. So there is a lot of wow, there is a lot of this Libra energy that is just even around this group. We have connections to this Libra. Interesting. Yeah, you said that, Annie. Yeah, yeah, on the 10th is your mom. So any October specifics? If not, we'll move to looking at the 10th. Oh, okay. November 1st. Wow. So they were like, that's unusual actually, Annie, because they have those back to back zodiacs, which usually doesn't happen very often. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow, a lot of Libra energy. That's so crazy. All right, I'm gonna get out of chat. So, I'm going to combine these life path numbers of Kendrick Lamar and Hanuman Kind with October 10th, and I'm going to show you why. And Annie, I'm sure you already see it. That's really interesting. Yeah, you usually don't see people um, coming together when their signs are back to back. It's because the energy is like too much the same and too different at the same time. The way that the vibrations coming through is usually so they the only time you really see that is when in other parts of their chart um it like balances out that difference in sun, because we when we look at the our horoscopes and our zodiac, we only are looking at the sun sign, which is just our mind. So it's the way that we think, and your mind also is your masculine aspect. So it's the way that you act also comes from the mind. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so let's talk about these life path numbers. I have this to come back to because I'm sure we will. But let's, wow, find some blank space. Here we go. Here we go. And so we're talking about October 10th, which is Annie's mom's birthday, and October 10th, 2025 for well, let's look here. So in general, it is, yeah, wait, that's the, yeah, had to remind myself. So in general, this is a 29 day. So that's the 11 2. Sorry for like giving you a headache from scrolling. And for hip hop specifically, and so how you we would get that, because we want to know what is hip hop's specific vibration on this day. And so we take the month that hip hop was born, which is August, and we want to take the day, not like the whole birthday, but the day that, like the number day of when hip hop was born, which is the 11th. And then we're adding that to the vibration for this day, which is here, which is the 20, which is 29. Man, that sounded real confusing. My bad. My bad. My bad. So let me know if you need me to repeat that, because I'll try it and repeat it better. But ooh, Lord, I don't know if it's gonna come out any better. Tiff, you are cracking me up. Oh, oh, Josh, what did you do? So when we add this up, we get 48. So on this day, hip hop is resonating at a 48, which is 12 and 3. So I'm going to leave that there for a minute, and you'll see just in a second why it's freaky interesting. So then let's look at Kendrick Lamar's so first of all, Kendrick Lamar, so remember, it's our name, or the name that we use most often, and our life path number that are our biggest vibrations. It's the biggest vibrations that we not only contribute to the world, but that we use to be able to um, connect with other people and connect with the world. And so Kendrick Lamar, his name resonates at 120. And then his birthday is June 17th, 1987. And so we'll take this opportunity to be able to, thank you, Annie, to be able to look at how to add up this life path number again. And so the first thing we do is we add up the year. So 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7. And we don't want to reduce it. So that's the thing where we do things a little different here. Because, I'm different. So we just be different. But we have to keep it a 2-digit number if it is a 2-digit number. So that we can actually get the path to be able to get to our full life path. So 25, and then we take the month. So in this case, June, which would be 6, plus the day, which is the 17th. Again, we're not reducing it. And then we add the year. And so when we add this up, 6 plus 17 plus 25, we get 48. So, Kendrick's energy is going to be highly aligned with hip hop's energy on October 10th. Annie, put Hanuman Kind's birthday in the chat also for me, please, and let's do that calculation. While we're getting that, the other thing that we want to look at is what is the total overarching energy for Kendrick Lamar. And so we take the 120 plus the 48 to get 168. And so then this is the total energy that's resonating. And so what's interesting for Kendrick Lamar is that he has the 12 here in his name that's enhanced by this God energy. And 48 adds up to 12 also. 12 is a change in perspective. And I think, yeah, we talked about actually last night the number for the phrase a change in perspective, which is 200. So that's coming out again. Coming out again. All right. So you see all of these vibrations resonating strong. So 12 is about a change in perspective. And this phrase resonates at 200. So it's the 2 that's being highly enhanced here. All right, so let's look at Hanuman Kind. Let me get a different color here. So I believe, let me know if this is spelled correctly. Hanu. I don't know why there's that space there. I don't like it. my Capricorn brain says, that doesn't look right. So we gonna fix that. There we go. Better. Okay, thank you. So there's a couple of things here. I think we need to add this up in a different way. So instead of just putting all the letters in, let me see. Because it's yeah, that's why. Okay, so it's resonating differently, his name, because when we split it up, so first of all, Hanu, just this part, is 44. Wait, what am I missing? Oh, you're talking about birthdays. Okay. Okay, let me know if there's any birthdays that you want me to look at. Okay. I'm gonna get out of the chat. But it's interesting because when we break up Hanuman Kind's name here, this first part um, is 44, which is the same numeric vibration as the word hope, and also the word faith, and also the word karma. So that's kind of interesting that is in there. That vibration is in there, because when we see those double numbers, it really is pushing that vibration very strongly. So then let's see. Let's keep going. Ah, that's what I was feeling. Okay. So what I was feeling is actually this part. Hanuman. So having Hanuman, this actually is resonating at 72, which is the same as the numerical vibration of the name hip hop. So what I was feeling was like there's like some crazy connection there. Oh yeah, you're right. In India, is that in the Hindu culture, or just what is Hanuman connected to? Like what religious sect, Annie? Yeah, so the monkey god is actually like one of the many gods that are celebrated and honored in India. I just don't remember what the specific like group of people is. But that's very interesting. Thank you for pointing that out. Um, oh, okay. In Hindi, yeah, it's the monkey god, which would be Hinduism. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, okay. So see, this is where we're getting to the deeper messages, because he's drawing from, so Hanuman Kind is drawing from his culture and his like words and vibrations of power, and then combining it in to his name. So what is the vibration that he's wanting to put out into the world? So that is amazing. And it's amazing that Hanuman is resonating at the same as hip hop. So there's that vibrational connection right there. That's actually really cool. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I like that. And that's very powerful because then also when we add all of it up together, um, Hanuman kind equals 110. And so there's that 11, that big 11 of like all of this new energy that's coming in. So he not only pulls in new energy to the space, but he puts it out there, and he can cause these like second thoughts. He can cause like there to be a division of like this discussion of like, okay, where is he fitting? What is he saying? Is what he's saying related? Like he's in the hip hop space, but how does it relate to what's happening in hip hop? Oh wow, that is pretty crazy. That's pretty. But you see how the okay. I get so excited to like come and share this. I almost said a bad word. I'm trying really hard not to cuss. I actually was doing better there for a while, but the end of September jacked me up, and so then I started cussing a lot more. But it's I am enjoying very much having these conversations with you all because usually I have these conversations by myself and I think I'm seeing things like, wait a minute, why is this resonating together? Why is there this synchronicity? And I think I'm the only one that sees it because I only have me to talk to. So this is like amazing to be able to have other people to talk to and see these synchronicities. Hey, Flex! Thanks for being here. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you. Oh, that's so interesting, Annie. So he is talking a lot about karma and spirituality in the songs. You're right, just like Kendrick is. Yeah, very much so. But what is so interesting is this 110, it actually resonates the same as the word purpose. So the vibration that he's putting out into hip hop, um, just by using the name that he's using, it's drawing attention to purpose. And what is the purpose? So, what is the purpose of what you're putting together and what you're presenting and what you're giving and contributing to hip hop? I think this is so amazingly interesting. So, let's look at his birthday. So, I need another color, another color, another color. Okay, there we go. So let me go back and make sure I get his birthday. Okay, so October 17th, 1992. So again, we'll break this all the way down so that everybody can get their life path numbers because it's actually really important for you to have. It can really, you can use it to be able to do some pretty cool things. Oh, thank you, Eva. That, oh, you out, man. Okay, not gonna get choked up. So, to get your life path number, um, you have to add up these numbers for the year. And so that's the first step that we're doing. So we get 21. And then we're adding that to the month. So 10 plus 17 then to the day, and then to the year. And indeed, thank you, Slay Queen, for putting that out there. Thank you. We get 48. So, Hanuman Kind and Kendrick Lamar have the same life path number. And your life path number are the steps that you are meant to take in this lifetime so that you can get to your place of purpose and what you're contributing to the world. It's also interesting, yeah, you're right, Annie, that their names aren't that far off either. Because if we go down here and we add up Hanuman Kind's name, so if we take the 110 plus the 48, we're getting 158. And for Kendrick Lamar, it was 168. So their vibrations are very, very parallel. They are very much, and that makes sense why a lot of what they draw into the world and the lyrics that they have and the music that they give to us and contribute to hip hop would be very similar. That's very interesting. So let's look at this 48, because both Kendrick Lamar and Hanuman Kind, anybody that hasn't gone and listened to Hanuman Kind, you really should look him up. He's amazing. And the way that he incorporates culture from like the Hindu culture, but just culture in general from India is amazing. And we should look at sometime, probably not today, but sometime we should look at the map. We could get the astrocartography map for hip hop, and it can show you what type of hip hop vibrations we'd expect to come from different parts of the world. That would be fun. Okay, so we have both Kendrick Lamar and Hanuman Kind with life path numbers of 48. And so 48 adds up to 12, which then adds up to 3. And when I say add up, I'm just adding the single digits. So 4 plus 8 is 12, and then 1 plus 2 gives us 3. I know, I have you doing all kinds of math in here, but it's much more fun than math class, hopefully. And if not, thanks for being here. I'm glad that you came in support of me. But really, this is really, really interesting. And so the first step in their life path is this 8, which is really about this reap what you sow energy. And so it makes sense that a lot of their lyrics and what they talk about and what they represent is like asking you, do you remember what you did or what is coming back? It's like the reap what you sow. Don't forget that you reap what you sow. And it is the vibration of karma, but also reap what you sow. So they have to, their first step is to really make sure that they are understanding how energy cycles back around. Like that's what they're supposed to be contributing to the world, is this deeper understanding of how this reap what you sow happens. Okay, good. I'm so glad that you all are learning and enjoying it. So both of them are, and that's probably why in their lyrics and a lot of the music and just who they represent is about like what is coming back around. What's going back around? You reap what you sow. And so they don't have either one of them. Neither one of them have a problem of saying, oh, this is what you don't want to see, but this is your own energy coming back around. But also, I don't know as much about Hanuman Kind away from his music, but we do see Kendrick acknowledging how what he has done has brought back around certain consequences and certain things in his life. And so they have had to, you always have to first face it for yourself before you can bring it to the world. That's what these steps are. So they're first having to face that reap what you sow energy in themselves. So then they are able to present it out to the world. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Noah. I want to make sure to make that. So that's the first step that they are having to really work with. And then once they understand that reap what you sow energy and how that energy comes back, then they're able to come to a place and they have to figure out how to be stable, how to have security. But all of us, we work with our energy and we go through these steps of what we're going to contribute to the world. And we have to look at it for ourselves first, and then we're able to present it out to the world. If we try and present ourselves out to the world without looking at ourselves first and working with it in our own life, then it's distorted. So a distorted 48 life path number would be like somebody that's like talking about somebody else's karma, pointing out and laughing at somebody else's karma when they haven't faced their own, or when they're not admitting their own. And they do not, because they do that, they don't feel secure or stable. They feel like they're all over the place. So all of the vibrations are neutral. You can go either way. But by accepting and understanding this reap what you sow, this karmic energy, and really becoming stable in that, then they're able to move into this 12, which is really change of perspective, where they are meant, their part of their life purpose is to change perspectives. It's to make people think and redefine things, because changing a perspective is a redefining of what you know or feel as true. Yes. And perspective, all of the perspective comes from our experience. So we can see how it would be like super important for them to relate to this 48 in their own life and in their own world. Because if they do not have a stable perspective based on their experiences, then they're not going to be able to change the perspective of anyone around them. Yeah. Oh, that's great, Annie. Thank you for adding these little bits of information about Hanuman Kind. Yeah. And they both are like very much, like you could just hear it in their music. They're very much about trying to get people to see things a different way or think a different way. Or they will say something that everybody else is saying, but they'll say it in such a different way, in a unique way, that it hits different. It's this trying to get them to change perspectives. Part of that is this 2 energy, where it very much is understanding that neither extreme is good. So being on either extreme is good. You need to be able to find a combination of those extremes. Get rid of parts of the extreme that do not serve, that aren't good, and take the parts that are good and find a new perspective, find a new middle ground. So, in thinking about also, it seems like, I don't know for sure for Hanumankind, and actually I don't know for sure for Kendrick because I'm just going off of like his interviews and then also his music. But it seems like for both of them, that they are very kind of neutral. Like they will point out to you when something is wrong. It's like that is wrong, and I'm gonna put it in your face. We've seen that. Like they won't hesitate to do that, but they also are in this kind of neutral place where it's allowing people to be who they are. So it's allowing both extremes to exist. They're not straddling the fence. That's not what two is. It's allowing both extremes to exist and finding a neutral place in between them. Because in that space is where this new energy can come in. So they're changing perspectives by accepting these extremes exist and being in a neutral kind of positioning and allowing those new ideas to come in. So it's like by allowing people to just be who they are and understanding that there are these extremes, the way that they are bringing this new information to the world and into the hip hop space is changing perspectives. It's making you think and redefine. And then from that new perspective, that's where everybody grows. So their whole purpose, and this is not just in hip hop, it's them as a person. Their whole purpose is to bring growth into the world, to contribute to the vibration of growth. Now, there can be, because we can't forget, there can be those people that have this 48 that are changing perspectives in a different direction, and then that growth can be in a different direction. Because all of these vibrations are neutral, so growth is not in just one direction. So I would think that we would probably have some pretty influential people. I haven't looked at it, but like cult leaders may be 48s also. Because they're very influential and they're getting people to change their mind, change how they're defining things. Yes, Annie, I love that. And we can see that actually in his music. We can see that in both of their music. So when we look at Kendrick Lamar and Hanumankind, we can see how their music and how as an artist, they have been very vulnerable in allowing us to see who they are. That's them working through that 48 in their own experiences in their own life. And then we get to see them change over time. We get to see them grow. So they are an example of how evolving and changing your perspective can help you grow into the best version of yourself, the most powerful version of yourself. That's very interesting. And so then for Kendrick Lamar, because he also has his name that is 120, he has a double dose of this 12 energy. So he has a double dose of changing perspectives. And this change in perspective actually is enhanced by this God energy. Oh, hi, Quickie. Thanks for dropping in. It's good to see you. So, this God energy, this zero, this universal energy that like can't be controlled is enhancing this 12 for Kendrick Lamar. But when we look at Hanuman kind also, his name is 110, and he also has this God energy. So they're both drawing in and drawing from this like very powerful energy source with their name vibration. And for Kendrick Lamar, it's enhancing his that change in perspective and that bringing of growth. And for Hanu, it's enhancing this bringing in of new energy, and this actually is enhancing this too. So it's enhancing that neutral vibration. This is very interesting. So for those that like came in late, I'll recap before we move on to something else. But what Annie brought to us is that the life path number of Kendrick Lamar, which is 48, is the same life path number as another artist. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. His name is Hanuman Kind. And there's these similar parallels in who they are, but in also what they produce in their creative space. I don't want to just say their music, because it's not even just their music. It's the type of shows they put together. It's how they show their creativity is very similar. And it actually links to where Annie wanted to look at October 10th for her mom's birthday, and hip hop is having a 48 day on that same day. So we are looking at these crazy synchronicities. So on October 10th, I'm going to have to go back over to this. There. Oh, okay. I thought it was farther. So on October 10th, whenever you have the life path number is also the vibration of that day, it just is enhancing your energy. You're right, Annie. Nothing is crazy at this point, because the synchronicities are very powerful. And for like Flex and others that came in a little later, we were looking at how hip hop is resonating at an 11 this month, so all of October. And so we should expect to see a lot of things that are like creating a divide or a split in conversation, but also a lot of like justice stuff. So it's not a coincidence that we are getting like the Diddy sentencing, or that we're seeing some of these court proceeding stuff happening in this energy. We will probably see more. And a lot of things of like trying to understand what is fair and what really is justice. That's so cool. I love when things like all wrap up together in a nice little bow for us. And we usually get that in the vibrations. We just have to take a step back to be able to see them. Because a lot of like what is happening and the words that we're looking at are going to resonate and really be connected to each other. Like we're because it's the same message that's coming through. So like when an artist is dropping, it usually is resonating with like what's happening with their life path number. Because like Cardi B just dropped and she's a Libra. So like we have these synchronicities that are happening a lot. We just have to pay attention to them. And then when we start paying attention, then we can start looking ahead and actually being able to predict some of these things. But only some. So that was a good one. So let me look at what else we have. So what I think we may do, because I can feel myself getting tired, and I want to make sure that we all can come off of here and go over to Koala's live. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm saying this out loud so you all can help me remember. let me preface that. I'm saying it out loud so you can help me remember. But I think what we do is let's we may stream tomorrow. Yeah, maybe too. So what I think we do is let's take the KRS-One and let's make this its own. So the next time we stream, this one will be its own. And then we can look at Troy and reminisce with this residue and residual. Well, and because I was so confused, but like so excited to like see so many people coming in, like new subscribers, but it took me forever to find out, because I didn't know that Koala had shouted me out in his video. And so then when I found that out, I was like so excited. But I do want to do an extra live for us to welcome in our new subscribers and talk about some stuff. So we'll see when we do that. But I think we separate the KRS-One out into its own thing so that we don't cut it short. Because I think that's a good deep dive, especially for where hip hop is right now. Because it's right, we'll talk about it more, but it's right in this power phase. And in 2027 is when it's shifting into wisdom. And this would be a really good example of what that kind of looks like. So we'll save that. Oh, good. I'm glad you all are finding this interesting. I'm telling you, when I first started coming to YouTube, I was like, Lord, are you serious? You want me to come and this is what you want me to talk about? Okay. I will listen and obey, but what's going to happen? And then look at it. It's turned out amazing. So, hence the lesson. Go and listen because it is time and it's important. So let's look at these two. Let's look at yes, we do resonate. Oh, look at another RE. So let's look at these. I'm gonna write down for myself right here. These other R words, so I don't have to try and scroll and find them again. Okay. Ooh, this is fun. Okay, so we'll stop here at the calendar to look at the 8th. Because in that song Troy, it does talk about October 8th. Probably, Josh. We could stream again before the 8th happens. But you know where to find me too. So if there's more specifics you want on the 8th, you can feel free to ask me anytime. And then if it needs to be shared with everybody, then we make sure we do that. But I have a feeling I have a feeling it's going to be in the next few days that we'll stream again. We'll have another one. So here on the 8th, hip hop is resonating at a 46. Oh my gosh. Okay, so he already went live. It's like now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Scratch that whole plan. We will go live again tomorrow, and we'll definitely do Troy and this residue and residual. Yes, you can always contact me privately in Discord. I also have my email in, it should be linked on my profile in YouTube. So you can always email me or connect with me on Discord. So let's go over to Quality, because I want to go over there. Go over to Quality Reacts. And then what we'll do is we will do a live tomorrow. We'll go over Troy and Reminisce and Residual and Residue, and then possibly more. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Please make sure that you hit the like button on your way out. Probably around the same time, Annie. We'll try for the same time. It'll be the same time or earlier. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Flex. Thank you for being here. All right, let's go see Koala. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.